Welcome to the Diabetes Daily Hustle. I am your host, Ali Abdul Kareem. What is going on, guys? Today, I want to talk about something that's really been on my mind, and I keep questioning it. And whenever I do these podcasts, I feel like the best way to bring a good version and an energetic side of me is pretending a celebrity is interviewing me. So I'm going to pretend like someone asked me this question and kind of go about it that way. For the longest time, a lot of you know that binge eating and developing a better relationship with food has been my biggest obstacle as someone living with type 1 diabetes. It's huge for me. And it took me a while, I feel like, and I'm still like there. And the main question I'm trying to ask myself and to give you guys value is, how did I get over binge eating? You know, it feels like it's been a while, but to be really straightforward with you guys, it's probably only been a month it's been a month that I've splurged in food. The last time I remember, it was a Monday. I got like 2 slices of pizza, I got some chips, and I think some ice cream. I can't really remember, but I'm trying to go through the points. I'm like, okay, what am I doing different? It wasn't like this snap of the fingers, oh, I bought this book, or I went through this program, or I had this realization. It wasn't this one moment that clicked for me. I think I put all the pieces together, and I feel like that is the main juice of where I got to where I am right now. And I feel like I've developed such a great relationship with food, ironically, for a person that doesn't eat any sugar at all. Like, I eat zero sugar, and I eat a very low carb diet. So when people hear that, they automatically think like, oh, that those kind of people that when they have, a donut or some kind of small treat, they'll go all out. And I'm still maneuvering my way. I'm not answering this question in a sense that I'm this is a year ago. I've been clean for the longest time, and I'm not trying to label food as like, oh, that's the devil or that's horrible. But I really want to say, I felt like here was my big circle that I went through. 6 days out of the week, I would eat relatively good and try to stay on track and focus. And those 6 days, I'll try to figure out, okay, this is how much dosage I need for lunch, because I basically eat the same stuff, same amount of calories every day. I try to be consistent. Obviously, that's healthy. And out of those 6 days, I try to figure out what works for me. I go through my highs and lows. Obviously, I'm still trying to progress and fine-tune my basal and bolus. And that one day, I'll binge. I went through that cycle probably for so long. I started this horrible relationship with food when I first started taking fitness seriously. There's no coincidence that I started the same time I hired a personal trainer and I started taking health really seriously. Like, I started wanting to exercise differently. I wanted to look better. I wanted to feel better. But I had so much to learn. I had so much ahead of me. And I had literally banged my head against the wall trying to get low-carb eating down. And I feel like when people stop eating, I don't want to say diet, but a certain lifestyle of eating, they give up really quickly because they hear the voices in their head and they hear what other people tell them. And I felt like for me, I ignored those voices. It sounds ignorant, it sounds stupid, but no one directly said this to me, but this is the stuff that was played in my head, and what happens in my scenario is what these people say. So, someone would see me binge eating, I would hear the voice, or I would hear the advice like, Ali, I think you're being too restrictive. That's why you're binge eating. There's truth to that, and I'm not trying to say that's wrong. I'm still trying to figure that out because I am very restrictive, but I think it's just a matter of choice. My vocabulary is different. Another thing that would come to my head is, obviously, other than the binge eating part, you need to treat yourself, more than once a week. Like, you're splurging way too hard and you're going to hurt yourself. Low carb isn't meant for you. Like, all that stuff. And I had to zone it out because I felt like I'm laser focused right now as to where I want my goals. My goals are to have as much little lows as possible, which a lot of people in the community think is baloney, and they think it's stupid goals. My word is not perfection. It's to have the least amount of lows I can have and the least amount of highs and stay in this, I guess, happy spot with my blood sugar, you know, and my barometer is different. That's what makes it essentially odd when I'm high or low. Like right now I'm 150, and I tried not to get frustrated that I was 150, but I'm trying to remember that I'm not a bad person because of that 150. Now I want to go through all the things that I feel like I put the puzzles together, and I took my own advice finally as to how I stopped binge eating, you know, once a week. And hopefully it's just going to be, you know, I can say this in 3 months, like, oh, it's been 3 months since I've binged ate, you know? And I'm not going to lie, some days it creeps up in my head, like, hey, Ali, like the devil's calling you. Let's go buy some pizza and ice cream, or let's just, like, you deserve it. You've been really good, you know? And I try to, like, suppress those thoughts, or I try to acknowledge them at the same time, which is, it doesn't make sense, but essentially I want to put the pieces together, and maybe I'm getting onto something as to how I stopped, you know, because binge eating once a week was my biggest struggle. Like, that was my hurdle. That was it for me, you know. And it wasn't uncommon, as people living with people living with diabetes in general. We have such a high risk for eating disorders like anorexia, bulimia, and binge eating, which I had, because we're thrown with these numbers. Take this much insulin, you're a good diabetic, bad diabetic, you know, that whole thing. And the advice I was trying to give myself and others, and I wasn't pushing it to others as much, but to myself, is number one, is acknowledging that I'm a human and I'm never going to be perfect. Perfect is a word that I people think I try to strive for. I don't want perfection. I want better. I want progress. I want to feel good. And progress doesn't necessarily mean my blood sugar is going to be great all the time. It means that if I see a 150, I won't freak out and rage bolus and stress and flip the table. I'll look at the number, and my progression will be not to want to snack because I feel bad, or throw the day away, or feel less of a person, whatever. That's progress for me. You know, today, looking at it and saying you're not going to be perfect. You're a human. You're not bad or good. If your blood sugar was 83, that doesn't make you a better person. You just have a normal range. That's it. That's black and white. It's not about being good or bad. And the second thing, I put the other puzzle together, was the environment. You know, what kind of music. You know how people say you are the 5 people you surround yourself with, and that's very true. You know, I started really trying to implement. My mom's always been a supporter of me and my dad. I live with my mom and dad, and the food we bring isn't like they're bringing soda or ice cream. Like, even when my mom brings bread, she'll say, you know, she won't apologize, but she'll be like, oh, it's for someone else, or you know, or maybe they'll have a little bit. And that's part of my environment. The other part of it is, you know, the music I'm listening to, the social media I'm consuming, the shows I'm watching, the friends I'm listening to, the people I'm watching. And I was very aware of triggers that would trigger me to eat, you know. And I remember that, like, whenever I look through people's Instagram stories or Snapchat, that would make me want to eat, feel hungrier, you know. So that was number 2, the environment. And I remember I gave this in an earlier podcast, and I probably, like, was pushing it so hard for everyone. Like, acknowledge yourself. You're a product of your environment. You know, surround yourself with good books, good videos, good people, and I promise you will change. And I felt pretty confident, you know, as someone who's dedicated to not try to give advice, but to just share my experience, and hoping that people are inspired to pick up that actual expert book, that other person I'm talking about. That's my main goal with these. So I started implementing that, you know. When I started reading Mindful Eating, I started realizing that there's triggers that trigger you to eat. You know, sometimes it was seeing a high blood sugar, or snacking once and then making it bad, and then continuing that cycle of, I'm going to snack more, oh, I might as well bolus, I might as well eat, oh, the whole day's gone, I'm not working out, I'm 2 pizzas in. You know what I'm saying? So, and a lot of you can relate to that, and I can't really relate to people with anorexia or bulimia, but binge eating is something for me that I'm kind of understanding, and I need to learn more about the other ones. And another thing is, when we educate ourselves, we actually are genuinely improving. And I know how people say like you can learn as much as you want, but you won't. Like everyone knows to lose weight, move less. I'm sorry, move more, eat less, move more. If knowledge was the only thing we needed, we would all be fat, rich, or oh jeez, what's going on with me? Uh, Rich, skinny, and smart. You know what I mean? But when it comes to awareness, we have clarity in a sense. So, instead of eating something that happened to me and I had no awareness of it, I would make myself bad for it, or I would come to, more knowledge could be for me was the hydration part. I felt like the water thing wasn't talked about enough because it was so basic and fundamental, like drink more water, that's it. But as soon as I started, I'm going to get scattered everywhere, but let me stick on the hydration part. I started implementing more about the knowledge I was learning, which was sometimes when we're hungry, we mistake our hunger for thirst. And that's knowledge. Like, I started realizing that. Instead, I would have just probably ate more and I would have consumed more calories, And that was the part of the knowledge part, when I started listening to more podcasts. And some of the podcasts were just reminders because I knew this stuff that I was listening to. But they're good reminders. That's the whole point of writing your goals down. Hearing certain things is also just reminding yourself, why do you want to eat healthy? To avoid Alzheimer's, amputations, whatever. And the other part is actually learning new stuff. You have awareness of new things, And I want to say that there's a lot of merit to self-awareness when it comes to eating. So the way my day works and how what I mean by self-awareness is there's personality types with eating and just functioning as a human. For me, I'm very organized, analytical, and I like routine. I really love routine, and sometimes I get too comfortable and wrapped up in it, which can hinder me sometimes, because I need to get outside, network, and do different things for the brand. But it's also, I use it to my advantage with eating. So being an organized person, let's look at that and the other side of the eating table. I can eat the same foods almost every day. I like the same times. I like the same dosage, obviously according to my blood sugar. But I use that to my advantage. And then, once 10 o'clock hits, and I know, not snacking after eating too late isn't the greatest thing. But it's, like I always say, better than depriving myself or binge eating. Sorry, I just saw a huge lizard. I'm just freaking out. I'm outside. And my routine was, 9 a.m., have breakfast that was this amount of calories, this macronutrients, dose around this range. Don't be perfect, but improve every day and analyze it. And I never wrote it down, to be honest, which I think I can improve in. Lunch would be this time and this, and I'd work out this time, and I would do these kind of workouts and listen to this kind of music. And that was fun for me. That is fun for me. Sometimes I can break free from it, And dinner would be the same time, and then I would get into such a deep routine that I knew how much I would dose. And I'm not saying this is perfect and it's going to work out every time. Like, this took me a while and I'm still working at it. Obviously today, as you hear, I'm in higher blood sugar, 150. And after dinner, maybe an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, depending on how early I ate, I'll make sure I drink a lot of water. I'll make my 0-calorie drinks, which I'm excited for, and I've gotten my work done. I'll watch my wrestling videos. That's my time to turn off. And I'll drink my drink. By that time, I know I'm going to have my pistachios. That's my snack. It's not like I'm snacking on something else. It would be maybe pistachios, maybe some walnuts. And I'll look at it and I'll eat it, and I won't try to be perfect for it like it's a meal. I'll be like, all right, I'll check my blood sugar after because I know I'm still, bolus is still kicking in from dinner. And I feel good about it. And I get into this routine of, okay, all right, I had this. And that was those are the same meals every day. That snack, I look forward to it, and I don't eat in between meals. And if I do, I'm probably trying something, and it's not that I want to be a perfectionist. I just don't feel right if I eat something in between. I want to look forward to my dinner, and I'm not, so I felt like I've snacked too much and I've ruined my dinner, and it's harder to control my blood sugar. I look forward to it more when I've earned it, essentially. If that means I haven't eaten in a couple hours and I worked out, I feel even better to enjoy the meal. And then I remember as I'm eating, like, slow down, enjoy the meal, breathe. Like, what are you eating? How do you feel right now? Wait an hour before you think you've eaten too little. And I'll do all these things. And essentially what I'm trying to give to you guys is I add all these things, pieces to the puzzle, and they all create this, they merge together for me so I don't binge eat. And I'm not coming to you with the answers like I got it down, like this is it. I just feel like I'm in a better place now to enjoy my food, not binge eat, and continue. And even if I do happen to eat something sugary or something that isn't going to be the best for my blood sugar, see, I didn't say bad food. I lately been finding a way to maneuver my way out instead of making it the whole day. Because I used to be really, I don't want to say wrong, but I would make it the rest of my day to eat crappy. And now I maneuver my way out. Whether that's, okay, I got to go to work, like I have to leave. You can brush your teeth and go. Or, I'll hold someone accountable to me. Tell my mom or tell my sister. Or I'll go work out later and that means I can't eat. Or I'll leave the house. I'll do something to break that cycle. And I'll kind of remind myself why I'm doing this. Why am I trying to achieve this good health? And, essentially after eating such a way of healthy, eating those sugary foods or not so great foods, you feel really crappy very fast, and it hits me hard. It's like, I'm like, man, am I getting old too fast? I can't. It's like, no, I think you're just treating yourself really well. And that's what I want to leave off with. And I know this is really scattered, guys, so I appreciate you guys listening. I hope you guys got some value from this. I'm on Instagram a lot. If you guys want to reach out to me, it's Ali, ALI.ABDALKAREEM. I think I spelled that right. And yeah, man, daily hustle. Appreciate you guys listening. See you guys for the next episode.